Welcome to Ofofo Studio. My guest for today is Tapesh Goyal. Tapesh is CEO and founder at Nimesa. Nimesa is a cloud native application recovery platform. Is that correct, Tapesh?
That's correct.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Angus. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, this is the first time we've had somebody on the podcast who specializes in backups and data recovery. We haven't had any guest who has been able to shed some light on these concepts for our viewers and listeners. So, I'm
Happy to
looking
do
forward.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's start about from Nimesa. What does it mean to be a cloud native application recovery platform?
Okay. So, in a simple terms, as you see, like in last 10 years, cloud have been massively adopted,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Companies have moved to the cloud very fast, and then many cloud-born companies have started their journey on the cloud directly,
Absolutely.
right? And when they actually move to the cloud, right, the teams have not thought about their recovery processes, how they will be able to recover
Correct.
quickly and faster and like predictably,
Correct.
actually, which leads to lot of vulnerability in their cloud application architecture in terms of after the attack,
Correct. Correct. Disaster
right?
recovery, it's always almost always an afterthought,
After the
right?
attack
Nobody
or after
comes.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct, correct. So that's what we have find it out like there are a lot of companies who are just sitting on a ticking bomb in case of like any successful incident happens,
Hmm.
right? And they may not or may not they may lead to a massive data loss
Correct.
or like a massive outages
Right.
or a ransomware payout.
Right. Right. Right.
So Nimisa is the solution which actually built for a cloud native application,
Hmm.
complex cloud native applications,
Okay.
because the application in the cloud is like very distributed in nature. It uses hundreds of AWS services
Correct.
when they
Correct.
run it out. And
Correct.
then like you need a very different DR playbook, disaster recovery playbook,
Hmm.
to recover those kind of application.
Correct.
And we
Correct.
find it out neither from a cloud vendor provider perspective or neither any third party tools
Hmm.
which has been actually architected for an on-premise world
Got it.
are solving this market gap.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
Nimisa born it out to solve this problem for the world here.
great. So does it okay, does it depend on the cloud provider, like how your processes are going to be? What I mean to say is, like, is it different for AWS, GCP, Azure, or is it the same throughout?
No, there are different nuances for each cloud provider
Correct.
because every cloud provider works very differently.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, while the concept of the DR, how the DR happens, the use cases, right, those are like a similar in the nature,
Mm-hmm.
but the way each cloud services um, uh, launch their services, the capability of those cloud services,
Yeah.
right, are very different. So, like, it requires a uh, different approach,
You need more nuances.
more nuances to actually deal with each different cloud provider.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And within this space, who are your competitors, and what differentiates Nimesa from them?
Okay, so to give like a BCDR or a backup DR, business continuity, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are like a very old category,
Hmm.
right? From a
Hmm.
mainframe world, like customer needs like a way ability to recover their application, ability
Exactly.
to recover their data.
Yeah.
And then as the data center architecture is keep changing in last 50 years from a mainframe to physical servers and then virtualization and then now cloud.
Yeah.
So we are in the fourth era of a IT data center actually architecture.
Okay.
And each of those architecture, you need a specialized BCDR playbook, specialized tools
Yeah.
which can serve that particular architecture more natively.
Right. Right.
Right. So most of our competitors were built in those era, like either in a physical server era or a
True.
virtualization era.
Yeah.
So their architecture build it out for a more of that particular environment, like a virtualized environment
Yeah.
and all those things, which were like a more agent based
Correct.
and like a virtual machine backup recovery kind
Yeah.
of a
Yeah.
things,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But in a cloud,
Yeah.
it's a very different architecture.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So cloud is like a very different where like a AWS native services or Azure native services,
Hmm.
and application is using 25, 30, 40 services,
Yeah. Yeah.
right, to
Yeah.
run it out.
Right.
Right. And then now you need a very different cloud native DR playbook
Mm-hmm.
for a like a cloud hosted application or a cloud native application.
Yeah.
That's how we differentiate. So Nimisa brings that cloud nativeness so that like from a customer perspective, you get a better recovery time, you
Correct.
get a better recovery point objective, recovery
Yeah.
time objective,
Hmm.
and then cost of doing the DR we
Yeah.
reduce direct drastically,
Correct.
right? And ease of doing the DR, we reduce the deployment and everything. So when you build a product for a certain architecture in native grounds up,
Yeah.
right, it brings lot of benefit for the customer who are on that architecture
Right. Right.
compared to hybrid or products who have built for a,
On-prem.
like a different architecture of data center.
Right. So, like when it comes to cloud, are these services cheaper or more expensive than, say, for doing for an on-prem infrastructure?
That's a very good question. So cloud, uh, in a certain aspect, it especially in a BCDR aspect, it is a much cheaper
Okay.
for a
Okay.
total cost of ownership for a customer
Nice.
because of the cloud's ability to actually create and provision the environment or a servers or a database in on demand.
Right. Exactly.
So in a on-premise world, you need to actually create your DR site upfront.
Okay.
So you need to do a lot of capex investment,
Hmm.
right, in a hardware and or a data storage, right, which in a cloud because like all the hyperscalers
Yeah.
give you ability to actually create the complete DR site on demand,
Correct. Correct.
right?
Hmm.
So we have drastically reduced for our customer the total cost of ownership
Hmm.
for having a DR.
Nice.
Okay, which means like we are kind of a now democratizing the whole DR space.
Okay.
Till now, it was only for a Fortune 500 where the
Exactly.
cost
Yeah.
was too high.
Exactly.
Now, with the like technology of a Nimesa and the scalability and on-demand nature of a cloud, even the SMB customer can or adopt the cloud or
Nice.
adopt the DR,
Correct. Correct.
right? Which is a very important security posture for having it out. Till now, it was we have seen it at only like a big banks or a
Yeah.
big Fortune 500 was
Correct.
adopting the DR because of the
Hmm.
cost and the complexity of having a DR.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Right. Whenever you think and talk to anybody, they say, "Oh man, DR we cannot do it because
It's very
like
expensive. Yeah.
it's a very expensive, it's a complex project."
Yeah.
So we are seeing it out. A lot of SMB customers are adopting the DR because of their cost. We are not increasing much. It is a very easy to deploy and
Yeah.
having achieved that whole DR thing. Yeah.
Okay. So when normally you get inquiries from prospects or from would-be customers, do they tend to be proactive about this? Do they say, okay, I need to set this function up, or do they approach you after they've been through a breach themselves?
That's so we have seen both the and definitely after the breach or after the downtime or a,
Right.
ransomware
Hmm.
encryption their data, the need is immediate.
Hmm.
Right. But there are enough customers who understand, enough leaders in our ecosystem who understand the need of a proper DR.
Right.
Okay, so we are seeing it out now, especially like when so many cyber attacks are happening on a week to week basis.
Hmm.
We have seen this crowd strike kind of outages are happening it out,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? Those are like kind of a again a reminder or a wake up call
Yeah.
for a lot of IT leaders to actually put a proactive approach rather than the reactive approach to like run their business.
Correct. Correct. What's a typical engagement with your customers like?
Yeah.
How does it come to be?
So as we are saying, right, we Nimisa platform can cater from a SMB mid-market to large enterprises who are running on the cloud,
Hmm.
right? So I'll give you few examples. So based on their complexity of their AWS environment, their application,
Yeah.
right, or their cloud environment, Nimisa is a fully automated approach. Okay,
Nice.
so good part is like usually the first DR because what we have seen it out most of the these companies are not DR ready.
Right.
Okay.
What does it mean to be not DR ready?
So it means like there are so many vulnerabilities, there are so many hardcore IPs are there,
Okay, okay.
right?
Hmm.
Because they have never done a very good DR processor, DR drill,
Got it,
right?
got
So
it.
most of the customer who comes in the cloud, especially in a cloud space, like they have not thought through, as I was saying earlier.
Yeah,
So many of our customer they do the first DR with us,
okay.
right? Full-fledged DR drills and full-fledged DR activity with us.
Hmm.
So we make sure we identify their application architecture. We find it out like what are the gaps
Hmm.
or what are the why they are not like how to make them a DR ready, especially like sometimes endpoints are very hard coded, IP addresses are very hard coded,
Hmm.
right? Their backups are not encrypted,
Correct,
right?
correct.
And many other things. So which Nimisa automated platform, right? Once you attach with your AWS Nimisa, identify all those vulnerabilities,
Hmm.
right? We actually make them first DR ready,
Hmm.
and then with the automated approach, with just a click of a button, they can actually choose which region they wanted to have a
Wow.
DR
Hmm.
or a cross account, air gap account.
Yeah,
They wanted to have a DR, and then it's like a fairly smooth process once the application is DR ready to deploy, and we support them for a first DR drill is usually on us for the customer. Yeah.
got it. Are there any compliance standards or are there any government authorities that mandate these policies, like, policies related to DR to be set within an organization?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. So RBI, especially in India, now
Hmm.
RBI is like very much serious about having a
Absolutely.
DR for their fintech and BFSI customer base,
Hmm.
right? And then like if you go for any ISO, SOC,
Correct.
right,
Yeah.
or IRDA, almost every compliance need has some component of a BCDR plan, or even though like SMB selling to the enterprise.
Okay.
Right. Then, like the InfoSec team of the enterprise is asking, like, what is your business continuity plan? Like, what is your RPO, RTO?
Hmm.
What is your SLAs and all? So we help them not just improving their security posture, but as a like a revenue enabler
Got it.
also for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So like they become a compliance, they become even a more insurable as well.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
are seeing it out like many time SMB wanted to go for a cyber insurance, and
Hmm.
then like underwriter don't insure them, or they charge like a premium for their because they are not having a proper BCDR processes in place.
It drastically brings down your premium.
It drastically brings down your premium. You get a more offers, more proposal from a different underwriters,
Nice.
right?
Hmm.
So it helps them to reduce their cyber insurance cost as well if they have a proper BCDR.
Perfect. Perfect. Can you take me through some anecdotes with your customers and, like, some before after stories?
Definitely.
Hmm.
So most of the companies like we work with either enterprise, so we work with like companies who are running their SAP workloads on
Correct.
AWS to
Yeah.
like a very cloud native, like a containerized workloads or a serverless architecture on their
AWS.
cloud.
Yeah.
And typically what we have seen it out till now, mostly people are using the basic AWS backup,
Right.
right? Free utilities coming from this cloud provider
Yeah.
to, and that is, or they just set up their database in a multi-AG environment. So
Yeah.
that's all they're actually,
What's multi-AG environment
yeah.
for our
So
people?
multi-AG, like every cloud provider in every region has a three zones,
Okay. Hmm.
right? Three different data centers basically. So,
Right.
for example, AWS Mumbai region
Hmm.
has a three availability zone,
Right.
right? And AWS gives customers to have that database running in both the zone.
Got it.
Okay,
Hmm.
so like and like they do some basic backups
Hmm.
for with the free utility or through their own scripts and all.
Hmm. Hmm.
But what they are completely so once the Nimisa comes in,
Hmm.
they or before that I'll just talk about like so they don't have a ability to restore the entire environment in a
Right.
single click. They
Hmm.
don't have a visibility where my backups are. Am I underprotected? Am I
Yeah.
overprotected?
They're very
Is my,
basic.
yeah, is my, so all that visibility and observability is missing in their environment,
Right. Right.
right? Whether
Hmm.
my backups are encrypted or not, because many of the data breach happens through their backup copy, not from a production,
Okay. Okay.
right?
That's an
So they
interesting
need to
insight.
be make sure like where my backup copies are lying,
Right. Right. Right.
right? So
Hmm.
they have no idea like, okay, I have a production database 1 terabyte, and now I have created a 5 different copies, where all those copies are lying. Are they
Correct.
encrypted or properly secured or not?
Yeah.
And many of the breaches happens from the backup copy rather than the production, because production is still like a little bit more secure,
Right. Right.
right? So they don't have usually much visibility. They don't have much visibility on RPO, RTO side. Like, am I
What's
covered from?
RPO, RTO?
Yeah. So just like a recovery point objective, like how it would be the maximum data loss I would be able to recover,
Got it.
right?
Mm.
And then recovery time objective is like your ability to recover in how many minutes or
Got
how
it.
many hours,
Got it. Got it.
right? So how fast I will be bounce back.
Right.
So 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 they don't have all this visibility, right? They don't have a very ability to test their recovery processes more frequently. What we are seeing it out, mostly customers are testing it out like once in a 6 month or once in a year,
Hmm.
their recovery processes. But it is too late, because your data is keep coming, your environment is keep changing on a daily or hourly basis,
Yeah.
right? And if you tested your recovery like 1 year back,
Hmm.
it may or may not recover from yesterday's data,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? So because they don't have a automation, right? They don't, and it is a very complex DR drill, so they take it like a once in a year exercise kind of a thing to, and that also like to kind of a test their recovery through the script or through manually, which takes like a 1 week time for them to recover or test it out.
Hmm.
So with the Nimesa now, they get a complete visibility of their backup processes, whether they
Okay.
are encrypted, whether overprotected, underprotected, whether they have air gap backup or not.
What's air gap backup?
Yeah, so air gap backup is like usually your ability to keep a backup outside your
Got it. Physically distanced.
physically in some other location or some other geography or some other account.
Got it.
So there are multiple ways of achieving the air gapping,
Hmm.
right? So that like when ransomware attack or any attack happens, he could not able to find the backups to delete or encrypt it,
Got it.
which
Yeah.
is the main reason why most of the ransomware attacks get successful.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, because the modus operandi of a attacker is like first they go after backup because that is their competitor.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? If customer is able to recover from their backup, they will not pay a single dollar to the
Yeah.
ransomware attack.
Yeah.
Right? So attackers. So like once they get into your account or in your environment, the modus operandi is like they just go after your backup first. And
Okay.
if they find it out, it is lying into the same RDS or a same AWS account, right? They have a complete access to actually delete or encrypted that backup, so that you will lose your ability to recover it out.
Yes.
Right. So Nimisa finds out that we make it air gap, we make it secure so that like even though your production backups got compromised during the attack, you
Yeah.
have a ability to actually recover without paying any dollar to the ransomware.
Amazing. Amazing. All right. So let's switch gears now, Tapesh. Let me talk a little about you. Let me ask you about you. So, what were your personal motivations to start or to even approach this problem? Because this is not something that a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Why did you choose that this was a problem for you to solve?
Great. So me and my co-founder both came from NetApp, EMC, Oracle background.
Okay.
There we were dealing from last 20 years in this space,
Okay.
building the backup recovery, building the data disaster recovery solutions for a Fortune 500,
Wow.
right? Part of like hundreds of DR drills,
Hmm.
right? While we were employed at NetApp and EMC and all those. And what we have seen it out, key we are seeing continuously this ransomware attacks,
Right.
outages,
Right.
right? And people are paying $1 billion actually a year
Yeah.
for attackers.
Yeah.
Every year, $1 billion payout is happening to the ransomware guys,
Correct.
right? And we say like we have expertise and we could solve this problem,
Yeah.
right? Because like ransomware is nothing but recovery at the scale problem.
The recovery at scale. Yes. Correct.
Right? If
Yeah.
you have a ability to recover, if your backups are properly maintained,
That's
they are
not a problem.
secure,
Yeah.
right? And you have a ability to recover within few minutes, which
Yeah.
what Nimesa provides,
Hmm.
you don't need to pay to those attackers,
Right. Correct.
right? So we find it out due to the technology and then implementation. Here we could make some impact in the world or in a security cyber security space to give them a like a good recovery solution so that like after then outage we can actually make it recover. So we are very mission driven company. We learn from each customer, each incident,
Nice.
right? How we make sure actually the business get bounced back within few minutes
Yeah.
rather than few days or weeks or months,
Perfect.
right? And with any kind of a threat vector, whether it is a cyber attack, whether it is an outage, whether it is a sometimes internal attack, internal employees or a partner, they actually got robbed, and we have seen
Yeah.
multiple
Oh,
incidents
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
the world
Mhm.
where so any kind of a threat vector which can lead to a outage or we cover it out, that we try to cover it out all your attack surfaces, right? So all the services which you are using inside your AWS or Azure account, we have a ability to actually recover and make sure you get up and running, bounce back very quickly after a month of attack.
Makes sense. But like you could have solved this problem being under the umbrella of NetApp or Oracle and all
Yeah,
the larger companies that you were working in. And they would have rewarded you handsomely for it, right? For
yeah,
just building that function. What prompted you to be an entrepreneur in the same space?
yeah.
Why did you tackle the problem head on by yourself?
Yeah, that's also a good question. But as you say, right, any big company,
Hmm.
right, there is an innovator dilemma,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
these companies are making money
Yeah.
with selling their on-premise solution
Yeah.
handsomely, right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
right, when you are actually building a something new for a new space or where those players are not in that,
Correct.
right, we find out like being independent give us the more
Speed. Hmm.
creativity and more speed,
Yeah.
right? And like investor like Idea Spring Capital has trusted on our vision
Mhm.
to take this mission forward. Yeah.
For viewers and listeners, catch podcast with Nagaran. He heads Idea Spring Capital. He's been featured on the podcast. The link will be shared in the description. All right, Tapesh. So, what can you tell me a little bit more about your team, your co-founder, and the others, and how responsibilities are divided?
Yeah. Sure. So both me and Rajesh, who is my co-founder, and Rajesh is handling the tech side of the thing, CTO as a CTO.
Okay.
We both came from tech background, deep
Okay.
tech background. We were in a similar team.
Yeah.
We share a lot of good bonding. We know each other from almost a decade
Hmm.
now. And so definitely when you build a this kind of a deep tech product in a space which very few company out of India is able to pull it
Hardly.
off,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And we are completely like a build in India selling to global company,
Nice.
right? So it really initially helped because we both came from a very deep tech background. We together figure out the use cases of cloud and build it out for that, and then like somebody has to build a business out of that technology and the
Correct. Yeah.
innovation which we have done it out,
Yeah.
right? So I presume the more now business side of the thing,
Hmm.
more GTM side of the thing, and
Nice.
Rajesh is handling more tech side of pre-sale side of the thing, and
Hmm.
take care of the sales, investors, and all strategy and GTM.
Makes sense. How big is your team now?
We are around 30-member team.
30 members.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable size. And how are the responsibilities divided? Like what are each functions within the team?
So we have like all major functions with the team, like sales, marketing.
Yeah,
We have a good pre-sales function,
nice.
customer success,
Mm.
then engineering. Yeah, so all these functions are now working
So when you're building a
coincidentally.
team like that, how do you share your vision? Because see, this is a problem that is easy for you to be passionate about because you have experience in this space, you have skills in this space. But when you're building a team while tackling a problem like this, what does it take? How do you share your vision?
Okay. So good part is we are able to assemble very good team actually, and the team is very supportive
Nice.
because they also see a clear gap. Because as a founder, it is our job to actually tell why we exist,
Correct.
right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So like we keep sharing like, and everyone is aware about like there are a lot of attacks are happening,
Right.
a lot of outages like a CrowdStrike outages can be happen it out.
Hmm.
And then when our team is going and customer is loving our product,
Yes.
right, that is the main actually adrenaline
The rush.
rush they get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here customer like of like a very big fintech unicorn is able to actually recover their complex cloud application in which they are spending millions of dollars in less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
Right? So the team gets like a very motivated ki yes, and this is a big problem for any like it's a so yeah, so team is seeing it out day in day out how the customers are struggling to do the recovery.
Yeah.
And after the Nimesa is deployed, right, within just a couple of weeks, how customer is able to recover now,
Yeah.
right, and like their ability to do DR drills more frequently, right. So like the I feel like a team feels they are like Avenger. Right?
You are assembling them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, can you quickly take us through all the solutions that are part of Nimesa right now, and if there are some on the future roadmap?
Sure,
Yeah.
definitely. So what we see like as a cloud native application recovery platform, right? It's a new category which we are promoting it out in the market.
Yeah.
Okay, till now it was a more of a so the recovery solution need like a three, four major component.
Okay.
Okay, one is like kind of a long-term recovery, means like an archiving solution, which we called it,
Correct.
right? Where like you have a ability to recover after 7 years due to
Okay.
any actually either litigation or due to compliance reason,
Yeah.
right? The use cases are there mostly like may not be ability to recover within a minutes,
Yeah.
but like a using the archiving, the cost of archiving should be less.
Yes. Correct.
The recovery time may not be that important in the archiving solution, even though it takes 24 hours, that is okay. Right? So there is the one solution which we are having it out in archiving. Second is like your data recovery, where like you just have a data you wanted to recover, like either through the database or through your storage,
Yeah.
and you get a ransomware or corruption of the data, corruption of volume, where you have a just ability, because data is the lifeblood,
Correct.
right,
Of any
of the
company.
organization, of
Yeah.
any organization. If they lose data, they lose everything.
Correct.
So we have another component which gives them a ability to recover their data very fast.
Okay. Okay.
Then the third solution, which is more of a business continuity or a application resiliency or application recovery, okay, in which the customer needs to have a ability to recover their complete cloud infrastructure or a
Nice.
complete application, which not only contains the data part but also contains a lot of configuration part on which is suppose like they are and they have a lot of load balancer, they have a complete VPC networking component. So any application use 8 to 10 layer from your data center, from your route 53 to your DNS to your load balancer scaling groups, and then VPCs, and then storage and databases and all that layer.
Correct.
So they need a ability to recover the entire stack, full stack,
Yeah. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just the data part of that.
That's amazing.
Right. So
That's
Nimesa, that is a very important use case for a customer. So Nimesa provides these three solutions right now.
the third one. I don't think I've heard of any company doing that.
Right now, we
Yeah.
are very unique in that part to give them a complete application recovery. That's why we have named it also like that complete application, cloud native application recovery platform.
Why did you name Nimesa Nimesa?
So Nimesa is a Sanskrit word, came from a word called a nimisham,
Okay.
means
1
blink of
minute.
an eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instant, quick.
Instant. Yeah. Yeah.
So we wanted to initially when we were going into the customer place and they say like how you can recover so fast, right? So we said like to build the trust, we should name our company uh, in that name so that we and that whole team should be focused on like how to recover fast, right?
That's a very cool name.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So, what's on the future roadmap for you, Tapesh?
So
Personally.
future roadmap is like we wanted to more in cloud native sides. There are more cloud environment which we wanted to support.
Yeah.
Right now we are primarily supporting AWS and Azure.
Yeah.
Right. So similar fashion, similar problem we are seeing it out in a GCP, Oracle Cloud, and then other IBM or Alibaba Cloud. So we will expand our cloud offering.
Yeah.
Some more use cases are coming. We are learning it out that. So we are till now we are launching a very new feature which none of the products has till now, which is like a recovery at schedule.
Okay.
Okay, till now backups were scheduled.
Okay.
People just do the policy and they
Right.
just schedule the backups, right? But recovery is very manual till now, right? And so we are launching a product which is a recovery scheduler.
Nice.
Okay, so that like customer can just on a Friday evening, they can just schedule it out. In a couple of hours, we will recover everything on a test account or a test region, and you
Hmm.
just test it and we will purge it out. So rather than every year
Yeah.
you are testing right now your recovery, you'll get the ability to recover every weekend
And within hours.
within hours, couple of hours.
Wow. That's again
Right.
very unique.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. For with this, Tapesh, I'm going to move to the next segment of the show, in which I'm going to ask you questions that have been designed by ChatGPT.
Sure.
You'll get two choices. You choose the one that suits you the best. Okay, Tapesh. I'll start with the first one. The first one is: would you rather be famous for a short time while you're alive, or be remembered forever after you die?
I would choose remember forever.
Remember forever. Legacy. Okay. Would you rather lose all of your memories or never be able to make new ones? It's a very tough one.
Never be able to
Make new ones.
make new ones.
Too many. Recovery over here is hard. Eh? Alright. Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button for your life?
Rewind, I'm a recovery guy.
Okay. Would you rather be able to eat anything you want without gaining weight or need only 1 hour of sleep every day?
I'm a foodie.
Would everything. Okay. Would you live on a deserted island alone or in a city of millions of people where you don't know anyone?
Uh, I would choose calm
Calm
desert. Yeah.
by yourself. I would choose the other one, but I can't be by myself. Okay. Would you rather live in a place where it's always winter or always summer?
I love winter.
You love
I'm
winter.
Rajasthani, so I'll choose opposite.
Okay. Okay. Would you rather have the ability to time travel to the past or to the future?
I'll go past.
You go past. What do you do?
Enjoy my childhood.
Enjoy your childhood. Okay. All right. Would you be would you rather be extremely lucky or extremely smart?
I'll choose smart.
Smart. But lucky, I mean, I think okay, yes. Both are actually, I think, interrelated to a
Yes.
sense. Okay. Last few ones. Would you rather never age physically or never age mentally?
Never age mentally.
Never age mentally. Nice. Okay. Would you rather always be 10 minutes late or 20 minutes early?
I'm usually 10 minutes late.
10 minutes late. Okay. All right. The last one, Tapesh. Would you rather explore the deep ocean or outer space?
I love outer space.
Outer space. More to explore over there. Okay. All right. So, Tapesh, for our
Great.
viewers and listeners, how can they reach out to you? How can they talk to you like I have the pleasure of talking to you?
So, happy to chat about anything related to entrepreneurship, enterprise software, cybersecurity, cloud. So, anybody wanted to reach out to me, they can reach out to me at tapesh@nimesa.io and or visit us at www.nimesa.io.
Perfect. The links will be included in the description. Tapesh,
Pleasure
absolute
meeting.
honor.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for
Look
having
forward
me.
to the next
Yeah,
one.
thanks.
Thank